We're almost at the halfway mark of college football. Yeah, already. Okay, I'm a little ahead, but we're getting there. And the AP Top 25 just came out after the exciting weekend. Georgia and Bama getting together. Tennessee was off. Oregon played. We're going to talk about that in just a second. Who's number one? Who's falling in line? And who fell in the polls in just a second. Welcome to the channel. I'm Brian. I'm glad you're here. I know I got my Clemson garb all around me, but I talk about other college football teams as well. If you like that sort of stuff, you like to argue about it, you like to get all worked up over it, you like to get in a fist fight in a Walmart parking lot, maybe a Waffle House gathering area, this is a place for you. I hope you will subscribe. By the way, 5,000 subscribers, almost at 5,100 already. It's because of y'all. Thank you so much for doing that. I really, really do appreciate it. Remember, subscribing, it is free, so it's budget friendly. Let's dive right in. Last night, Georgia and Alabama played one of the most exciting games that I've seen in quite a while. And we know about Nick Saban. He's no longer there. We know about Georgia on their revenge tour from last year where they were kept out of the 14 playoff by the very same team they were playing last night, just minus Nick Saban. And there's all these different variables. Kirby used to coach there. You got Kalen DeBoer's first game, big game. Excuse me. That's what I mean. Big game. And his new role at Alabama, taking the job of the man. So there's all of this going on. It was the tale of two different teams, two different halves, and we know what happened. Alabama blew a massive lead. Georgia came back, even took the lead, and then behind the actions of 17-year-old wide receiver Ryan Williams taking in for a touchdown against Georgia, Alabama ended up winning the game, and as I said, one of the most exciting games I've seen in quite a while. So, where does everyone rank this morning? Now, I'm going to share my screen. I am viewing this on On3, the On3 website. So if you know anyone over there, say, hey, I saw On3 on this guy's channel. Maybe they'll appreciate it. Maybe they will not appreciate it. But here we go. The number one team in America, you see it, Alabama. Alabama played an incredible game last night. In the first half, I think that was the toughest team in America in the first half. In my opinion, they were downright the toughest team in America. And then the second half happened. But Alabama came out, played great. Milroe's numbers, they were unbelievable. So for anyone who's out there that says, well, I'm not impressed with Milroe and everything. Okay, I get maybe some of your reasons. All right, I accept it. His numbers were way better than Carson Beck's. As a whole, turnover ratio, rushing, obviously passing. He didn't have 3 interceptions like someone I know. But Alabama takes over at number 1, and this is a big deal in the Caleb DeBoer, or Kalen, what am I saying? Kalen DeBoer era. So Alabama is number 1. Let's move on in. Texas, number 2. Texas, they're number 2. They had to march into the Mississippi game again with Arch Manning. Arch Manning does what he does. The guy's just chilling there, raking in all those NIL dollars and leading his team to victory until Quinn Ewers comes back. Very smart move by Sarkisian to keep everybody calm and to keep the winning going. Number 3, Ohio State. A lot of people's like, Ohio State, who have they played? They really haven't played anyone. They went in, they played Michigan State with the new coach Jonathan Smith, former Oregon State coach. You know, I mean, come on, y'all. They haven't played anyone. Why are they ranked so high? Folks, I still think Ohio State is a really good football team. And at this point of the season, I don't have a problem with this ranking. I really, really don't. By the way, someone really wants me to buy Stanford Athletic tickets. I don't know what that is. Next up, number 4, Tennessee. Talked to someone this morning who was a massive Tennessee fan, and they asked me, they said, be honest, do we really have a fighting chance? Do we really have a fighting chance in this game? And I said, here's my, after last night, after watching the Georgia-Alabama game, and I said, let me be very clear. Had Alabama continued to do in the second half what they did in the first half, I tell you, absolutely not. I would say Tennessee is a really good football team who's progressed, and Josh Heupel has done an incredible job, but Alabama is unbeatable. After watching, if they would have done in the second half what they did in the first half, but they didn't. I'm not taking away from the Crimson Tide. I believe right now they have made their mark as the best team in America at this time. Did you hear me? At this time. That could all fall apart. They could go silly, go stupid, get drunk on their own success and blow it. But after seeing that second half and seeing how they blew a massive lead and Georgia even took the lead again, Tennessee has a chance against both of these football teams. So Tennessee with a young quarterback, Nico, the guy is talented. You got Sampson. You got all of those playmakers around Nico. Brew McCoy, Squirrel White. Thornton, the guy can play. So I think Tennessee definitely has a chance against them. At number 4, I definitely get it. Number 5, Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia was down 28-0, came all the way back. All the way back. Took the lead, and then they ended up losing it. Georgia still has a ton to play for. Georgia is still in the national championship hunt, whether you love them or hate them. They still are. If they would have continued playing in the second half like they did in the first half, I would say Georgia did what they did to Clemson, and we can't stop it. We can't change it. But Clemson game is over. And I would say pretty much their SEC chances and even possibly a chance at a playoff was over if Alabama continued doing what they were doing. And Georgia continued their performance from the first half to the second half, but they didn't. Georgia turned around and did what they did, which says a lot about them, says a lot about Carson Beck, even with 3 interceptions. Georgia's still very much in the hunt, but they do drop to number 5. Move a little quicker. Oregon at number 2. They played against UCLA. They won 34-13. Dan Lanning and the guys, they really haven't been outrageously impressive this year, but they haven't lost. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do for the rest of the season as they grow and as they attempt to get better. But number 6 seems about right. Number 7, Penn State. They went out. They played the Fighting Illini. They did win that game. Brett Bielema's doing a pretty good job up there. Illinois is not an easy job. But Penn State, they win. They move up to number 7. I can't say that they are not a good football team, but I believe that when the season is done, they're not the number 7 team in the country. If I'm wrong, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. So right now, number 7 seems about right for right now, but not overall. Another overrated team, Miami. They dropped a spot. They avoided an upset to Virginia Tech. Cam Ward is an incredible football player. He's very talented, but at the end of the day, I will tell you this: that you have to have more than one guy playing. And Miami is just, once again, they're number 8. At this point of the season, you can't say that you shouldn't drop them. I don't think they should be. I take that back. I don't think they should be in the top 10 at this point. But I think the season will potentially shake out. If they continue playing anything like they did the other night against Vatech, they will lose a game in the regular season. But anyway, they're at number 8. Number 9, Missouri. They were off. They had an overtime win against Vanderbilt last week. Missouri is a team, I think as the season moves on, I think you're going to see them maybe rack up a couple of losses at least. But at this point, it's kind of like Penn State, kind of like, I say Penn State. I'll leave Miami out of it. Number 9 seems about right. That'll be interesting to see what they do. Michigan is number 10. The team we're starting to get into the area to where it's kind of a toss-up who's ranked where. Michigan, living off of some success last year. Obviously, they won last week. They won yesterday. Yeah, that's kind of where they're at. We'll quickly go through the rest of the AP Top 25. Southern Cal's at number 11. Ole Miss lost to Kentucky. They dropped 6 spots. They're now number 12. You have LSU moving up to number 13. We have Notre Dame. At number 14 after a win against Louisville yesterday. Clemson moves up to number 15. They're on a 3-game winning streak. The offense seems to be striking some type of rhythm. Now, you could talk about the quality of their opponents, and true, you're right. But what do I say? Beat a bad team, bad. Beat a mediocre team, bad. Beat an okay team, bad. Win the games you're supposed to win. If you have more talent than the other team, it should show on the scoreboard. And when it doesn't, and that's consistently happening, there's trouble in the horizon. Clemson moves up to number 15. They started the season off preseason number 14. Iowa State won yesterday. They are now number 2. I believe they're undefeated. We have BYU number 5, or not number 5. They moved up 5 spots yesterday after that win over Baylor. They're now number 17 in the country. Their blood brothers down the road, Utah. Yeah, Utah and BYU, they don't like one another. They're so close to one another. Utah loses to Arizona. Kyle Whittingham, I don't think he's a bad coach whatsoever, and there's a lot of things that I like about his teams, but he manages to lose games like he lost yesterday to an Arizona team that is rebuilding after their head coach left. He's now at Washington. They've got their own problems. He took Kalen DeBoer's place. Utah, very interesting. They drop 8 spots. Oklahoma moves up 2 spots after the win against Auburn. At Auburn. They moved up 2 spots to number 19. Kansas State, a winner yesterday. Guess what? They're number 20. Boise State, number 21. Louisville dropped 7 spots after the loss to Notre Dame. You have Indiana finally inching in to the top 25. What's that guy's name? Signetti? Is that what his name? He was at James Madison. Now he's at Indiana. Just hold on to that ranking because, well, they're going to have to start playing some better teams, but they did. They did get into the top 25. Illinois dropped 5 spots after the loss yesterday to Penn State. And then tied at number 25 is UNLV and Texas A&M. A&M getting the win with the new coach, Mike Elko. He's in. We know he dropped that game to Notre Dame, but here they are. They're in the top 25. And then UNLV, Barry Odom, the former Missouri coach. A lot of eyes are on the program after his starting quarterback. Just said, "Hey, I'm not going to play for you anymore. You guys haven't come through on your end of the bargain for NIL." They were 3-0. He said, "I'm done. I'm not going to play anymore because you haven't fulfilled your end of the deal." Have the other quarterback, he came in, and I'm just going to tell you, I watched him play, looked unbelievable. And I know you have to take into consideration the opponent that they were playing, but hey, listen, if you promise the guy the money, give him the money, right? Let's not lie, right? With that said, it really didn't look like there was a problem there. I know the running back is not playing, but I've heard that it was non-NIL related. It was something else. Who knows? Only he and his inner circle. But UNLV is tied for number 25 in the country. I'm going to get in here and say hello in the comment section. I do appreciate everybody being in here. Corn Pop is in here. Good to see you, Corn Pop. Got Tiger Man. Tiger Man, it's good to see you as usual. I cannot believe Alabama blew a 28-point lead. Me neither. Me neither. I also can't believe that Alabama, you had 2 back-to-back long touchdown plays offensively. Also, that game, Alabama and Georgia, you think of SEC defense? Nope. Between those two teams, over 1,000 total yards. Incredible. Brian Barber, Alabama fan, but I love watching your videos. Always honest and insightful. Brian Barber, thank you so much for that comment. Hey, listen, I'm just going to pause there for a sec. If you're new here, you're watching me, you're like, who is this guy with all that Clemson garb around him? I'm honest about my team, and I'm honest about other teams. Now, I don't know every detail about every team. That's the beauty of college football. There's moving variables around each team. Each team is not maybe what they seem. Kind of like I pointed out, UNLV. You think they lose their starting quarterback, but I bet, and they're up crap creek. But I bet you if you talk to some true UNLV fans, they would have said, hey, the guy that's a backup actually can play really well. So, but I call it as I see it. And my goal is not to be pessimistic. My goal is just to call it as I see it. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. But we're all having fun here. Brian Barber, I'm glad you're here. DJ sucks. Man, Florida State Seminoles, how bad are they? I mean, they got blown out by SMU. They come into this game against Clemson, 1-4? Nobody on God's green earth thought that this was going to happen. I didn't. I knew that they were not going to do well with DJ, and I tried to tell everybody, please listen to me. People ignored me. People said, well, Norvell, and I don't blame them. You have faith in your head coach. I get it. This is bad, but I'm going to tell you this, Tiger Man. This is not only on DJ. This is on Florida State as a whole, right down to coaching. I mean, it is not good. Red, FSU, Clemson playing these teams is equivalent to Clemson playing against Georgia Tech for the rest of the season. You know what? Here's the deal. Here's the deal, Red. I actually agree with you. Clemson should win out the rest of the season. If you have superior talent, you're supposed to win. In the preseason, not only this year, but last year, Josh Pate highlighted that Clemson has one of the most talented rosters in all of college football, according to star rating, like 4-star, 5-star, 3-star, blah, blah, blah. And this is 2 years in a row, and a lot of people don't realize that. Clemson should win every one of these games. And even at that, not to be pessimistic, we still don't know how good they are. So I agree with you. I agree with you, Red. In fact, I think Georgia Tech is better than most of those teams that are even listed there. Tanya Moss, Milroe is a good college quarterback. So is Beck. Milroe, Beck gets praised, but Milroe has taken a lot of shots. A lot of people's taking shots at him. Go look at his stats from yesterday. Unbelievable. YouTube channel Cleveland Street Preachers. Really, I'll have to check that out. Don't know. I'm not even going to highlight that, but someone I think is just, I don't know. I don't know what is going on here, but here we go. Clemson should be ahead of Ole Miss. Davey boy, you think so? Miami should have lost that game. There was no indisputable evidence to overturn that call. That was, you know what? I understand what they're trying to do. I understand what they're trying to give these, the replay booth a chance to review it, but they could have done it without calling it a touchdown. And it was really interesting. Tongue Pie was wondering, do you think Kentucky can be in the top 25 after defeating Ole Miss? Tongue Pie, you're going to have to win a lot of games. You're going to have to win a lot of games because a lot of people will respect that Georgia loss and they'll turn a blind eye, not a blind eye to it, but they'll give you some consideration. Losing by 25, even though it's second week, I know it's second week, you're going to have to get farther away with wins away from that 25-point loss to South Carolina in Lexington. That's what I would say. Roll Tide, fellas. Clemson, y'all have turned it around. Y'all will beat Miami. Hey, we just need to take it game by game, but thank you so much. Addison, I agree with Davey. Clemson should be ahead of Ole Miss. I hear you. I know this guy. Fusion plays sports gaming. Texas should be number one. Let's see. Let's keep going. Let me see. All right. So, what did UGA whipping and coming back say about us Tigers? Well, I think that we need to look at it realistically. That was week 1, and you hopefully get better. You hopefully progress. But what I would say is that Clemson needs to worry about Clemson, and they need to look at the way that Alabama played Georgia, and they were not afraid of them. They need to look at how Kentucky, a team who Clemson is way more talented than, and say, how did you play them? You didn't play them not to lose. I always say this, bloody knuckles. If you play a game not to lose, you lose. And that's just my approach to it. Let's see. James Thompson, our defense has problems. Our defense gave up 168 yards on the ground in the first half, which was very unlike our defense. Then the second half, I think they gave up only 68 yards. So there was some adjustments made. I think that Stanford came in with a really intelligent plan. Their coach can coach, and give him time there. If he can keep his coaching staff there and just get in just good, solid talent, Stanford will do a good job. But it was disheartening. Prayers to all those affected in Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Florida after this catastrophic storm. Yeah, I'm one of the only people that I know in my area with power. My buddy who lives 3/10 of a mile down the road from me, he just got power yesterday. I've had it since Friday night. My family, on my side, and my wife's family, my wife's family lives not too far from me. They don't have power. My family lives in the Oconee Pickens area. None of them has power. So it's yes. I hope everybody in Asheville, North Carolina. It's unbelievable. Do you think Clemson will win the national title this year instead of Bama? No. I would welcome it to happen, but I just don't think so. I just don't think so. A couple more and then we're out. Texas shouldn't be number one. Alabama has the best win so far this year. If Texas beats Georgia, they'll leapfrog us. Jason saying our run defense needs a major improvement. Had some missed tackles. The offense is rolling. Yeah, we got to clean up some stuff there. Bama fan number one. Glad you're in here. Folks, there's 81 of you in here. There's 81 of you in here. I hope you've subscribed. Remember, it's free, so it's budget friendly. If you like what I'm doing, if you like to argue about college football, if you like to get your nerves all flustered, if you like to stop speaking to people for a few days just because, well, they said something you didn't agree with and it's college football, go for it. Go for it and subscribe. Also, if you want to support on a monthly basis, hope you will. I hope you'll not subscribe. I hope you'll subscribe. I hope you'll join. It's $3 or $5 per month. It's extremely affordable. It's extremely affordable. It's budget friendly. So if you want to do that, hit that. If you don't see that button, it's because you're probably on an iPhone. So it's just something weird there. So I hope you'll do that. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know that you're here. Hit that thumbs up. Pass along to all your friends who loves college football. Another question: do you think Clemson could be in the 12-team playoff? If Clemson wins out, wins a conference, definitely. My biggest question that I have about Clemson, the biggest question that I have with Clemson is not if they win out. If they keep playing the way they are right now versus the strength of schedule or lack thereof, Clemson will win the ball games. They'll win the ACC championship. Just the question is, what will happen when they have to line up against an Ohio State, a Texas, an Alabama, or a Georgia again? Are they going to go back into their shell? Are they going to say, "Oh, they're giving us some exotic package look on the defense. Oh, we can't call those plays, or we're going to run the ball right into the strength of their defense"? If they do that, they're going to get TCU'd or Florida State against Georgia in the Orange Bowl. And I don't think any of us Clemson fans really want that. So for me, if Clemson is going to get TCU'd, I'd rather them lose a game or two and be left out of the ACC championship and get to the 12-team playoff only to get, emasculated on national scale. Also, want to let everybody know I am going to be doing a giveaway. For this. This is a little. You see it? It's a sign. It plugs up. Has a little light. My buddy at the Sawmill Shop, Eric, he created this and he gave me one. He said, "Listen, do a giveaway." So I don't know how we're going to do the giveaway. If you want to, I'll try to put a link. I'll try to put a link below this video afterwards where you can just email me and say, "Hey, enter me in the giveaway," and we'll go from there. And then if I pull your name, guess what? We'll have this sent to you. So I'll put that below the video in the description below. Folks, you take care of yourself. It's good to see you as always. I hope you're staying safe. Be careful. And as always, go Tigers.